look how far we've come, all the things we've done, did it all with love, beauty from the bottom up. All I want is you, you're my favorite view, but there's nothing more, girl, you make my heart beat.
So we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Buenos noches.
We-
Bon nuit.
We are going to do a Funcast tonight instead of a podcast.
Yes.
We had a rough morning. For those of you who were with us this morning that watched the episode earlier, all of the sound issues that you guys heard in Discord absolutely came through our mixer and fucked our sound up.
Yep.
And I'm about an hour into editing that. And with that hour of editing, I've already knocked off 45 minutes of content that we've had to cut out.
Jeez.
So you guys who were there for the morning episode are getting a whole lot of content that the rest of the world's not going to get. And I'm not uploading the unedited version because of all the crying and the shit that happened today. So
I respect that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some things just aren't for the world. It's one thing to do it in front of our friends, like on Patreon, privately. The rest of the world doesn't need that shit.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Friends is a very big give there.
we have friends in Discord, though.
Yeah. I know. I don't want to add to that parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
We don't know everybody who's watching us. They are definitely dedicated followers and are very much appreciated.
Yeah. So anyways, earlier while we were on the podcast, I was talking about some cards that were coming in the mail, and they came, and I'm not going to say where I got them on this episode because they're not paying us. So why should I do that? But this card says, in a world dominated by digital distractions, we often underestimate the profound significance of genuine human connection. I'm omitting a sentence. We are constantly faced with the same message. Connection is what makes us feel truly alive. These cards have been curated to put the power of connection back in your hands. Through authentic, unfiltered, and raw conversations and moments of personal inflection, these cards will enable you to unlock a new level of connection with others. Inside this deck, you will find 52 compelling questions, including one of your own. These questions have been written by our guests, individuals who continually shape culture and challenge norms and achieve greatness.
Okay.
So when I bought the cards, I thought it was written by the host of the podcast, not by the guest, which makes it even cooler because it says the name of everyone,
That's
the
dope.
questions. It says how it works. The cards are categorized into 3 levels depending on the level of conversation and connection you are looking for. Level 1 is the warm-up.
Okay.
Use these cards to initiate engaging conversations to break the ice. I don't think we should do those.
Skip right to the...
Level 2 is the open up.
Okay.
As you're ready to dive deeper and build stronger connections, these questions will help you open up and share on a deeper level. And level 3 is the deep end. Dive in, embrace vulnerability, and experience a level of connection like never before. On the back of each card, you will see a number 1 through 3 reflecting the depth of the question. Start with level 1 and work your way up the levels. If you're ready to embrace vulnerability, you can dive straight into level 3, the deep end. These cards can be used in so many ways, be it to unlock new levels of connection in your relationships, as prompts to self-reflect and connect with strangers. The possibilities are endless. So which level would you like to start at?
Let's just do one like deep card and see what that feels like.
Okay.
I want to know what that hits.
Guys, we need to know if we have audio issues because we did have them earlier. I reset everything and I'm hoping that we don't. That's not a hard one.
Okay.
That's
not
actually,
deep?
that's just a dumbass question.
Okay.
And there's no point answering. I'll read it to you.
Okay.
But everybody that's watching right now will already know.
Word.
When was the last time you cried and why?
Ha!
You guys were here for that earlier, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. What is one aspect or feature of your life that causes you the most friction or discomfort, and how could you change or fix it?
The one thing in my life that causes friction or discomfort. Friction. Why am I having such a hard time, right? Or discomfort?
Yep.
Is that what it was? Me still trying to calm my nervous system and trying to have conversations with you that I feel like may be disruptive. I overthink a lot still.
I do too. That we are our own worst critic in that aspect. Before I answer this, I think it's important to recognize that the thing that causes you the most discomfort or friction in life is going to change based off of your current situation, because things that happened a week ago may have bothered you, but you're not living in that moment.
Right.
So, for me currently, I really don't want to fucking cry in this episode.
You got this, babe.
How do I word this? I know that I asked you to be a stay-at-home wife and to not work. And you gave that up to do the stay-at-home wife thing. And the hurricane happened and we started doing this and it kind of took off, and it wasn't really a job for you at the time. It was supposed to be just us having fun, and it became a full-time job. And I understand that you gave up something that you always wanted to partially make me happy, but to also make sure that we didn't lose everything, because the hurricanes really fucking hurt our life. And the thing that causes me the most friction is knowing that every single day you are working, doing something that I told you at one point you wouldn't have to do anymore. I dwell on that quite a bit, actually. And I understand that you like what you do now, right? Like I know that it was rough for you in the beginning, but you're thriving in your role. So like, and you're helping people. Like, we are changing lives. We are really doing good work. This isn't like a McDonald's job or tattooing or, you know, I mean, we're not saving the world. It's not like we're fucking finding out ways to recycle plastic and like build buildings and shit with it, but we are helping people fix themselves. And there's a beauty in that. That's my struggle today. Michael said you could view that as doing what you want to do, and the money is just a side effect. It's not about the money, guys. It started off being kind of about the money. Full disclosure, like, we were hoping that this would replace the 2 tattoo shops that we lost. And it's done way more than that now. This is our main source of income. And it is a lot of work, and our work looks very different now, but we get to do it together. So like, in that aspect, that's a blessing. Because if we were working in the tattoo shop and you were piercing full time, or not working at the tattoo shop and I was there all day, I wouldn't get to see you like this.
Right.
And that would suck way worse than having to work a couple hours a week. You know, so a lot of that's perspective, but I like to believe that I am a man of my word. And when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to follow through. And I did, and I followed through, but circumstances changed. And like, you had a hard time with that in the beginning, and I'm having a hard time with it now. It's the universe, right? I don't know. I also would like to think that even if we were making millions of dollars a year, that we would still do this.
Yeah.
Because I do enjoy it. Like, I love sitting down and having these conversations with you and learning new ways to think. And even these fun cards are going to provide new things to think about. Like, I had no idea that one of your biggest causes of friction was getting hung up on yourself to talk to me. I do know, because of a conversation that we had the other night, that there's a thing for you. But in that conversation, I wasn't expecting that. So like, there's a blessing in that as well. You ready for the next one?
I am, yes.
Okay. Sorry that happened.
Stop that. Look at me. Stop apologizing. Babe, it's okay.
You want to stay at level 3? Or you want to go to level 2?
Let's do a level 2. Let's see what level 2 is like.
How do you take care of you?
Oh, golly. How do I take care of me? Are we just like looking for one thing?
I mean, you can answer it however you want to answer it. It's open in question.
Okay. How do I take care of me? I think the biggest thing that I do to take care of me is to make sure that I'm going to rephrase that. The best thing that I do for me is that I monitor my burnout. And when I recognize that the beginning symptoms, right? Like, my eyes are itchy, I'm sneezing, I have a little bit of a cough. I attack it at that point, and I implement a lot more self-care, and I step back from things more versus pushing myself through it because this is what I need to do with my life. And in doing so, the people around me get a better version of myself.
That was a good answer. This is going to sound very codependent.
Okay.
I don't hold things in anymore at all. I make it a point to come to you about everything. And in a way, you still act as my therapist and my sounding board and my cushion when I'm falling down. And I would not have that if I didn't have you. So my self-care and how I take care of me is by leaning into you in moments of my vulnerability, knowing that I'm safe.
I'm glad that I can be that for you.
What level?
Let's do another level 2. Thank you for letting me be that person for you.
It saved me. What's a common misconception that people have about you, and how does it make you feel?
that I am intimidating or scary. Like I am unapproachable. And that makes me feel a lot of things. The first one being, I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it's people intimidated by my confidence or my self-assurance and how I carry me. There's also a part of me that's like, good. Don't approach me. It makes me feel like I need to work on myself. And I don't know if I'm like being gaslit by society in that or or if I am really that brash in public.
I don't think you're brash in public.
Yeah.
I have to answer this question. So what I'm about to say is going to be very hypocritical because of my answer. But there's a difference between you being intimidating and people being intimidated by you.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that a lot. You know, people being afraid of you or being scared of you and you being scary isn't the same thing. And that's one of those things that like, it's important to remember in that aspect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My answer to this is that, and I guess maybe it's not hypocritical because people viewing me as an asshole and me being an asshole are two different things.
Yeah.
What's a common misconception people have about you and how does it make you feel? People think that I beat you.
Yeah.
And they think that I'm an abusive, controlling asshole. And it makes me feel like complete garbage. And it's the hardest thing about this podcast. And it's the only thing that's actually made me want to quit doing it is the public perception of me. Level 3.
Okay, level 3.
It was on top.
Let's go.
When was the moment you were most afraid?
I have 2 moments.
Okay. I'll give 2 moments too then.
Okay, so the first one is my son being born 12 weeks early. That was
Genuine fear.
absolutely terrifying. Having multiple high-risk doctors coming in and talking to me about everything that could happen. He could be born with cerebral palsy. He may need assistance for the rest of his life. He may never be able to live on his own because we don't know how he's going to develop outside of the womb like that. That was absolutely terrifying. Having to wake up to the sound of alarms going off because he's not breathing in his sleep. And I had to get up to massage his chest and wait for the nurses to come in. That shit's scary. And then taking you to the hospital and I thought you were dying.
Oh, my kidney. I really thought I was having kidney failure that night.
Yeah.
So 2 moments.
Okay.
You're not going to believe the first one. Knowing that I have been stabbed and I have been shot at.
Right.
The owl at the prison. I have never been more afraid of anything in my life.
Right, because if it was a ghost, what the fuck are you going to do?
Right. So for those of you who don't know that story, me and somebody that I used to be close with was doing urban exploration at an abandoned prison in Florida. And as we were walking through the prison, we were hearing hissing noises and it sounded like somebody was doing graffiti. Like it sounded like spray cans. It was echoing and all that bullshit. And we left block B and was going to cell block C. And like we walked upstairs and I was joking about, man, how fucked up would it be if that was a ghost and we opened this door or like we found a ghost in here or whatever. And I opened that fucking door and this owl flew out of that thing.
Fast as fuck too,
Bro,
I bet he did.
It looked like white lightning. Like I didn't know what the fuck was coming at me, but it hit me. And like it didn't claw me like it. I opened the door. I scared it like it scared me. And it hit my ribs and like took off. I was so afraid I couldn't even get a sound out.
I could imagine that you had no air in you.
Nothing. I was
like, right. Your whole system locked
it was
up.
So fucking bad. And then the next time we went out to that prison, it happened to my friend who talked so much shit for like the year in between about that. And I was like, karma, motherfucker, that's what you get. Yep. And a second time.
I have a third time, but it's kind of silly. So you won't have to do a third one.
I want to give you an honest answer, but I'm not going to put that on the podcast.
Okay. You want to mute us real quick?
I will tell you afterwards.
Okay.
Because it has to do with my abuse. I told you about it in Thailand. At the second seminar in Thailand. So you know my second one. What's your third?
I was I was between the ages of like 7 and 9. And I don't know what it was about the adults in the household getting enjoyment out of having me watch scary movies. But that was like a reoccurring thing. Like, I remember for my 13th birthday, I wanted an iPod Touch. It was the coolest thing out there, and I can play Plants vs. Zombies on it.
On an iPod?
Yeah, an iPod
Okay.
Touch.
Well, you said,
Yeah.
it sounded like you said iPad. I was
No,
like, wait a
iPod.
minute.
I mean iPod Touch. And in order for me to get it a day early, I had to sit down and watch that movie where I think it was called like Bugs or something. This dude rips his own tooth out, and like all of these bugs had been living in his jaw. Yeah, it fucking terrified me. I slept with my light on for like 4 weeks after that. I felt like as an adult, I find that cruel now.
Oh, absolutely cruel. Absolutely. That is pure like torture to a child.
Yeah. And I didn't get the iPod early because I didn't finish the movie. Oh, The Mist was another one. That was another terrifying movie for me that I had to watch if I wanted to get something. But Jaws. I watched Jaws between like 7 and 9, and we watched it the evening prior to going kayaking. And when we went kayaking, I was absolutely terrified. I just watched people get mauled by sharks. And I was in a kayak. I'm trying to phrase this so delicately. With a family friend. It was not a biological family member. And at some point he flips the kayak, and I was convinced I was going to fucking die. I was screaming, I was crying, I was absolutely terrified. People in a boat came over, and they rescued us out of the water. I was so scared.
I got hit by a jet ski while on a jet ski. Did I ever tell you about that?
What?
Okay, so this was not a scary moment because it happened so fast. I didn't have time to be afraid.
Yeah.
Real quick though, I saw somebody said that the audio glitched. Was it everyone's audio's glitched or just one person's? And if it happens, I need to know because we are having mixer issues. Everyone. All right, I'm gonna have to put my headphones on. Skipping a little. I'm gonna just stop the mixer, like end it,
Okay.
reboot it, and then start it again. So give me 1 second, guys. All right, we're just going to continue. If it happens again, guys, let me know.
Okay.
So what I was saying was I was on, my mom and her boyfriend, she convinced him to take us jet skiing one weekend, and he rented jet skis and maxed out his credit cards, put down a deposit, did the insurance, the whole nine.
I'm so sorry. Does it cost that much to rent jet skis?
I don't know about now, it doesn't, but I also don't know what their financial situation looked like. For us to go rent jet skis for a date would be a couple $100. But it was 5 or 6 of us, or 4 or 5 of us.
Oh, so there's a lot of people.
And there were minors riding.
Yeah. Minors
riding are going to be more expensive. This was also in the 90s.
Yeah.
A different time frame. I don't know. But they tell you when you're on jet skis not to ride too close together because the wake will pull you into each other.
Yeah.
And we got away from the adults and we started racing. And as we got closer and closer and closer, he fucking hit me, launched over my jet ski, bent the handlebar of the jet ski up, knocked me off the boat or off the jet ski. And if it wasn't for that life vest and him jumping off, I would have drowned because he hit me. He jumped off. And when he flipped me over, it knocked me out. I was unconscious with my face in the water. And he jumped out and flipped me over and pulled my head out of the water. And had he not jumped off his jet ski, I probably would have drowned. But there was no fear there because it happened so fast that I didn't have the time to be afraid.
This is the boy shit that I have to worry about when my son gets older?
Yes, it is.
Fuck.
Well, no, because he's not as like reckless. He's afraid of getting hurt by a lot of things, so I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that.
No, you're right. He rides his bike on slow.
Okay. Another level 1. These level one cards are kind of fun. I think more than the level 2s and 3s. If you could be part of any brand or company, past or present, which would it be and why?
I'm gonna be honest. There's not a major company or brand that I'm willing to dedicate my time to. Do like animal shelters go into that?
Could, depending on the, I mean, obviously if it's a yeah. Well, this is brand or company. So any company. So if you wanted to work with animals or do like zoo work or something, that would count.
No, I would want to do something for the children. I don't know any brands or companies off the top of my head, but I would want to, what did it say, like be involved in it or something? What was
Be a part of.
Be a part of? Yeah, something to do with either children in the foster system, orphans, trying to like donate my time, donate money, resources,
And why?
because the children are our future, and so many of them are being forgotten and left behind.
I didn't see that coming.
Why?
I didn't think that was going to be your answer.
No?
Nope.
What do you think it was going to be?
If somebody put a gun to my head and was like, answer this question, I'd have died just now.
Yeah.
I would not have gone that route at all.
What do you think? What did you think I was going to say?
I honestly don't know. I kind of thought that you were going to go on the food route, like something to like fix the soil or, do something that's changing the environment to make us healthy again. I did not see that coming with the kid thing.
Okay.
Totally didn't see that coming. I got nothing on that one.
Okay.
As for me, part of a brand or company, past or present, which would it be and why? That's a hard question because from the outside looking in, you think you know a brand or an organization's core values, but until you get on the inside, sometimes it doesn't look that way. So I'm not going to give a brand or a company, but I would want to be involved in something that has legacy to it, that like truly changes the world somehow. And like, Twitter was one of those things that changed the way that the world gets information. It would have been cool to be a part of that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that now. And like, the change of Twitter to X and all that it is now, like that would, if I picked that, knowing that 5 years ago, would I feel that way now? Like that's a real question. I couldn't say Facebook or Meta or anything like that.
Right.
But I would want to be involved in something that like would be able to repair people, like nanite technology, right? Like if somebody was able to create nanites to actually heal the body, something that could like computers in your blood that could go, oh, his pancreas isn't releasing enough insulin. We need to go repair that.
That would be dope.
That's what I would want to be involved with because that would be the thing that changes the world for the better.
Hell yeah, babe.
So all of the handwriting on these cards are different. I think it was written by the guests on the podcast. When you are near the end of your life and looking back over it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Sorry to get me. What will you be proudest of and what will you regret the most?
The life that we built together. And that encompasses everything, the kids, the podcast, our vacations, getting through our disagreements. My biggest regret, not getting my shit together sooner for my kids. I feel like I missed out on a lot of their younger years because I was selfish.
They're not going to remember any of that though.
I know, but I do.
They're at that age now where they're just now getting to the point of starting to remember things. That at some point they're not going to remember a life without me in it.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Yeah.
I think about that.
My answer is kind of your answers, but I'm going to put a variant on it because it's me and not you. My proudest is going to be the fact that I was able to become the man that I wanted to be because of you. And that is not an upset cry. That is a happy cry that I'm holding back right now because I'm able to, I was able to reach a potential with you and then exceed that potential because of you. And I was able to do that. Like that's something that I've always wanted. Like I believe that I have surpassed the man that I wanted to be in life. And I would not have been able to do that if I didn't have you in my life. So my answer is that I'm proud of the man I became. And I think that I'm going to be better even still. And then this is going to sound so cheesy. And I'm sorry that this is going to sound cheesy.
Okay.
But the regret is that I didn't find you in time.
What do you mean in time?
There's a whole lot of life that you lived without me. And that sucks.
I almost said something like that, but I was like, no, I feel like that's...
It's cheesy.
Yeah.
But it's true. I can hear people turning off the podcast right now over all that cheese.
Why?
Because that was just a cheesy ass answer. And
No.
I understand it. It is what it is.
It's sweet.
It's true, but it's cheesy. All right. If you could go back to one era in civilization, what era would you pick and what would your job be?
No, I'm too much of a history buff for you. You can't tell me to pick one spot.
Macklemore asked this question.
Macklemore asked that?
Yeah. It's got the names of everyone who's
The guy
asked.
who bought the piss sheets at Goodwill?
Piss. But shit, it was 99 cents. Fuck it.
I wonder
funny.
how much of that we can sing before we get in
That's
trouble.
far enough.
Okay. I am going to say, this is going to be a wild answer. I'm going to say between 1,500 BC.
Okay.
And I would want to be a shamanic woman.
Okay. That's very specific.
Yeah.
That's very specific. And what a time frame.
Yeah.
And depending on where you lived in the world or where you ended up, that could be potentially really bad for you.
Yeah. I would also want to be like a high court lady in the French court in like the 1400s, but like super high up to where like I'm not going to get fucked with. But like I don't want to get beheaded, so I don't want to be the queen.
This doesn't sound really pussy of me.
Okay.
But I wouldn't want to go past like 1940. And even then you're pushing it because of World War II. But like I need my electricity, bruh, and some air conditioning. So I'm gonna say between 1950 and 1970. I don't know what I would want for my job.
Yeah.
I would like to be maybe radio.
Like a host?
Yeah, because I enjoy this.
Oh,
I enjoy
hell yeah.
talking to people.
Okay.
But
Play
I
some
would
music?
No.
Just talking.
I would want to cover the Jim Crow era.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Absolutely love that. I was not expecting that. That's kind of hot. You want to do something like that?
Well, I mean, you got to think from 1950 to 1970 or even 1980, you saw the end of like, you saw an end to a lot of racism.
Oh, yeah.
And by
a lot of ugly.
Right. And by 1980, from 80 to 2000, like the race thing didn't exist. Like there were still pockets of racism, but it's worse now than it was then. Like Generation X didn't fuck around with that shit. And I would have loved to have been alive during the 60s to have experienced the hippie culture and Woodstock and all of that. Like that would have been really dope for me. But to be able to experience like to be able to report on and be honest with your reporting from a non-biased standpoint about things like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all of that. Like that would have been,
oh gosh, I would have tuned in every night.
Right? It would have been it would have been a very unique situation to live in, and I don't think we'll ever see a time like that again.
I would hit on you through mail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a whole thing going in my mind right now.
Yeah.
You want to meet up after this and have a conversation?
That's funny. Level 3. What is your biggest insecurity?
Fuck.
Oh, we're getting vulnerable now.
Fuck.
You want to skip that one?
No.
Okay.
My biggest insecurity. Who wrote that down?
Someone named Daniel Amen.
Why would you do this to me, Daniel? My biggest insecurity is that I feel like I'm not on your level.
How are we having the same answer?
Are you serious?
Pretty much. It's gonna be worded differently, but it is pretty much the same answer. My answer was not going to be worded specifically on your level.
Yeah.
But mine is that I'm not enough.
This is stupid. Why do we feel like this?
There's that the failure thing is very prevalent in me. Do you think that we have the relationship that we have because we're so alike, or do you think that that is a detriment to us?
I think that we have the relationship that we have. I don't think it's because we're so alike personality-wise or those kinds of things. I think it's because we're so alike in the damage that we've experienced. And we truly understand what it means to be hurt and what it means to hurt other people on different levels. And we have a self-awareness about us that makes it hard to ignore the matrix.
Yeah.
To not ignore the matrix. So I think, yes, due to our similarities and wanting to grow and be the best versions of ourselves and support each other's independence and our character and our hobbies and those kinds of things, I think that matters.
Someone said, I thought this was going to be a fun cast. How is this a fun cast if we're all crying?
What are we doing to ourselves?
Yeah. I didn't read any of these cards. I bought them because of the conversation that I saw about them.
Yeah, they should have sent a warning.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that people are as emotional as we are right now, but it has been an emotional 12 hours. Okay. What topic is no one talking about now that historians will study in the future?
Okay, so I'm going to try to say this, and if this doesn't make sense, you need to let me know. The fact that we are living in a Black Mirror episode. There are people on TikTok who Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Eugenia Cooney. She is a 30-year-old woman who she's never come out and said it, and I'm not trying to diagnose her, but she is anorexic or bulimic. There is something going on, and it has been devastating to watch her. She is skin and bone. Hearing her breathe sounds like it hurts.
Wow.
She was doing a live stream and she drank some water and she started having like convulsions, like her body was rejecting the water. And there were nurses in the comments. There were people who had recovered from anorexia, and they were like, she's on death's door. This is not, her body's shutting down. It can't even process water at this point.
Do you think she's doing it for views? Is that why you said Black Mirror? I'm trying to correlate the two.
I do believe that she's 100% doing it for views. I think that it feeds into, I'm not a psychologist, right?
It's just opinion.
Somebody on the internet who's forming an opinion. And I do think that it feeds something inside of her to hear people be as shocked as they are. There are people out there who tell her that she's so pretty. There is a whole subsection of kink that happens in regards to her. I do believe that she has a very fucked up relationship within her family. Her mom has said that she sees absolutely nothing wrong with what's going on with her daughter.
Yeah, someone in the chat said they think it's her mom's the cause of it.
She was in her late 20s. She lives at home with her mom. Like everything is on her dime. Like she's making money. And it was 10:30 at night. And there was a full moon happening, or like the harvest moon was going on. And people on her TikTok live were telling her like, you should go outside. The moon looks fantastic. She was like, oh, well, I really can't go outside. You know, like what if my mom hears me and those kinds of things. And they're like, you're like 27. What? Go look at the moon. And she ends up like sneaking through the house, and every little creak she stops and like she's panicking like a child who's going to get in trouble if they get caught up out of bed or something. And she gets to the door, and she either begins unlocking it, or she gets to the door and her mom catches her. And she looks like a 7-year-old child being reprimanded by her mom for trying to look at the moon as a 27-year-old woman. Absolutely insane dynamic happening. And a lot of people have reported her for, kids are on the app. And that's one of those things where, yes, parents should 100% be regulating what their children are doing on apps and what they're seeing on social media. I also believe that, at a certain point, if people are saying that someone's glorifying obesity and they shouldn't be making the content they're making and they should be off of platforms, I think the flip side could be said about Eugenia Cooney. She's not intentionally glorifying anything, but she has over, I think, 2 million followers. She gets hundreds of thousands of views, millions of views, thousands of people on her lives. Like, she's doing very well for herself. And there are people in her comment section who said, like, when I was younger and I saw you, I fell into this. Like, I'm recovered. You can come back from this too. I've seen, I think it was like the mom or an aunt of a girl who passed away because she looked up to Eugenia. It's a mess.
Wow.
And I think that that's something that's going to be researched, the way that everyone's just watching her die. Like, there's really, I don't know what you could do. At some point, her friends had her 5150'd.
Baker acted, but California.
Yeah. And, she was medically taken into a rehabilitation center for eating and all those kinds of things. And she got a little bit better, but then she went into a decline again. And like, I don't know what you can do beyond that. The cops get called all the time, sent to her house. There's nothing the cops can do. Like, they're not going to force her to leave the house because she's not eating.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's going to be a very heavily studied thing. And just the way that, I've scrolled on TikTok and I've seen people simulating like really scary shit. And people will just sit there and watch it. You could be doing anything else with your life, but you're just going to sit here and watch somebody spray Chi Whiz up their nose for 3 hours.
Well, I think that we're already having those conversations though. When you really think, it's even happened in front of Congress. Like, the social media and dopamine addiction that is a thing is being researched already.
Good.
And it is being talked about. I mean, obviously there's a whole lot of things that's not known yet. I'm gonna answer this and we're gonna wrap up so that I can reset the mixer because they keep having audio issues and that's gonna make it really fucking hard for me to edit. So my answer to this question is I don't believe that there's a topic now that no one is talking about. I think that there's enough data everywhere on the internet that somewhere someone is talking about what's going on. What I don't think is mainstream conversation enough is what's going on with AI. I think that all the people who speak on AI right now are considered conspiracy theorists or like, ooh, Skynet.
Right.
But I don't think people have enough information about what's going on with AI to truly fear it and respect it the way that they should. And I think that there's going to be a point in time where we look back and go 2025, 2026 is when they had the opportunity to stop what they were doing. They knew the risks and they did it anyways. And that's going to end up in the history books. If there's history books.
And that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Are we just going to wrap up or are we going to reboot?
I think that we should just go ahead and wrap up. We can pick this back up another time. We've been on almost an hour with cuts. I don't know. But it's also fucking 9:30 at night and people are wanting to go to bed. They're already wrapping up. So
okay.
We can do this again after another night. We can still have a whole deck of cards. So we'll do this as a trial run.
Okay.
And we can ask Discord later if they liked it or whatever. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was definitely unique. Not something that we have done before.
I enjoy it.
I have enjoyed it as well. We have both learned things about each other that we didn't know. Yeah. So that is a win. I'm going to just leave these cards back here. So the next time you're like, hey, we should, I'll be like, okay, there they are.
Beautiful.
All right. With that being said, guys, remember you're the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.